So, hi everybody and welcome back. This is a Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 32, 33. And in this video, we are talking about animation. At least we start, because animation take a while and we need several videos, but in this video, we start to understand our animation. First of all, we go to our character. Let's dock this here on top. And here on world settings, if you have this one, is a fast way. Like I always find my character. I click just here and it jumps, but you can just find it in a drawer too. Then double click on your character. And then in your character, you go to viewport, and in viewport, select your mesh. And on the right side in details, you will have here down in mesh your skeletal mesh. And in skeletal mesh, click here this magnitude file so that we go there. And here we double click on skeletal mesh to open this one up. So, and if we open this one up, we have now here on the right side the 4 options for animations which we have to build, to create, and to understand. The first one, which we see here, we already talked a little bit one. This one is just the this one is just the skeletal mesh. But let's click here. This one is just the skeleton, right? We talked about the skeleton a little bit. This one represents the character skeletons. On the left side here, we have all the skeleton bones for this character, and we can show these bones if you go here to character, I think, and then to go to bones, and then all hierarchy, and then here you can see, now we can see all the bones which are here in our skeleton tree. So then we go here one more right side, which is this one. And this one is the, what is here the big difference actually? There is, okay, skeletal mesh. What it says is skeletal mesh. I don't know. It says skeletal mesh, but here we don't make right now nothing because the skeleton is here again included. That's why a little bit irritating, but yeah, not really. Here we have just more details options. That's very important later, because here we have just the skeleton, and here we have here this detail options where we can later adjust on the mesh and so on. But right now we don't need it. We go a little bit further. Then we have this, oh, let me jump this one on top. Then later we have this, what is that? Blend space. Yes, this blend space we will do later too. And this blend space means just how the animation goes from one point to another. You see he is standing, he tries to walk. And if I hold Control and then I can walk this graph here in the middle. If I hold Control and walk my mouse, and then you can see how he is going from standing to walking and then to running here. And this one we will create too, because we have to understand how this all is done. And in the last one here, which looks a little bit complicated and has many parts, this is the part where we start, but not with this one, just to create this one. And then we have to go from here to this part, and later to this part, and this one is a special part. This one is this control rig with which I have not connected because my retargeting was not working. And after we learned this control rig, even so it worked not here, it will work for us. I hope you already solved this problem from other videos, but in this video we will learn later control rig from scratch anyway. And that's why no problem, I'll solve it later. So that said, we click all the tabs here on top away till to this point here. We can keep one. And then we go back to our game, folder. In my case, it's game T. We go to animations, double click on it. Here I have my control regulator. There I don't go. And then here I have animations, but this one needs perhaps also a new folder. Let's create a new folder here and call this animation. What is this? Animation Blueprint. Animation Blueprint. Yes, because we want the animation blueprint in it. So the next thing is we have here already the animation blueprint from our character. When I double click it, it jumps directly to this one. Let's click this one away. And this one I want create this animation blueprint, but not all here, this later. Just how to create this animation blueprint. Very easy. We go back to our folder. This one we move to our animation blueprint, animation folder here, animation blueprint folder. Oops, no, I copied there. I want it not copied there. Okay, sorry. Again, I wanted move here. Move here. Okay. And this is a blend space. Careful, this is not the same. And with that said, we can double click on it. And now this one, what we see here is an animation blueprint we want created ourselves. So how there are different ways to create an animation blueprint. The general way is you click on add, or you click right click here and then go to animations, because we are in animation and you can see we have here a long list, but actually you see there are different parts. So here are the control rig parts. Here are anyhow the animation blueprint, and later we have some blend parts. So they look much here, but in groups there are only 3 or 4 groups here. So with that said, let's continue. Here we select animation blueprint, and when you select your animation blueprint, you must find your skeleton. That was the first part in our animation window. Let me show you this one. When I double click on this one, for example, let me dock this here on top. Let me get rid of this one. So we have here 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one you have to find now, your skeleton part. And where this skeleton here, let's make it again. I right click, I go to animations, I go to animation blueprint. And now I know that my skeleton is what was it? Mannequin? Yes, mannequin. And then it was Char Warrior. But if you have a problem to find this skeleton, I show you another way to find it. Let's write a name, animation blueprint as a prefix. And then we call this one warrior, or name it what you think. Animation blueprint for my warrior. That's okay. And save all. And if you have trouble to find your animation skeleton, it's very easy. You go just to your character again, double click on it, and then go on viewport, select your mesh. And like before, and then you go again here to this sign here. Here's the here is already the skeletal mesh. Careful, this is the skeletal mesh, but we need the skeleton, and it should be near together with it. Yeah, that's another way, but there are different ways to find it. I think that's not a big deal. Later you find it anyway, anyhow. Let's continue and let's go. So we have this one. We have now created our animation blueprint, and let's open this up. I double click on it, and you see this is the starting page which we have before. This one is the default one which we have retarget. just without this one. I have just disconnect this one. And this one is the same. Cool. The only thing what we have to do here is talking a little bit about the editor so we can go on. So on the left side, we have our preview match again, our mesh and our skeleton and so on. Later we can see here the animations and so on if we activate this one. Right now there is nothing, of course. Then we have here some pose watch. I don't know myself what this one is right now. Perhaps we know it later. Here's the blueprints, my blueprints, which means here we will later use the functionalities here in our animation graph or our event graph, depends where we are. For example, we have here the event graph, it jumps here like our blueprint, similar to our blueprint. And here's to the animation graph, here's more the result. Let's compare this one to our, when we go here to the event graph, you see it's also not that much, only some update function here and event blueprint initialize animation, yeah, the start animation. All right, I will explain this all and we will create this all again. And we are going to create this all because we need a base understanding to create these animations and change the animation, because right now we have just this little run walk animations and later we want to make fight animations, jumps and special move animations, attacks or whatever, talk animations or just sing animations or what you think of. You can do what you want later, but the important is that we learn how to do it, right? And I think I continue here a little bit more. Here on the right side, just normal details panel to change the properties. We will talk about this later when we have some. And then here again, preview match. Here we have to apply this one. If we use this skeletal mesh here, yes, we can. And then here an overview. Here on bottom, we have again some animation preview settings. We will talk when we use that, and here our assets again, our animations. One more thing before I stop this video is there's another easier way to create this animation blueprints. Let me show you this one too. How to create this one, very easy. If you know, for example, already the skeleton which you are using, for example, in my case, let's find this character skeleton. Yeah, here. If you know already the skeleton, for example here or here, both are working, skeletal mesh or just the skeleton, then you can just select it, right click it and go to create and then animation blueprint here and it will create. And this works for both. That's very interesting. So you can go here, animation and then animation blueprint. All right, this is the easier way, but the general way which we are used works all time. So that's the point what I want. That was the last thing what I wanted to mention. And with that said, we will continue with this creation of animations and going step by step further to this settings. And after we understand these animations, then we set up our real animations for our scene and change all little bit. All right, with that said, bye till next.